to do is we're going to put a burn on his forehead, down his cheek, and onto his neck. And the question is, do you want a bloody one?
Yeah.
Really gory looking one? Okay. Then we'll show you the difference. And then this is water pretty close to boiling. And so we're just going to add, I'm going to come film this, we're going to add just a little bit of water. And then we're going to stir it up here. And it's going to have the consistency, and it is a very little water. Very little. And as you can see, it's going to have kind of a gooey consistency. Something kind of on the lines of, a lot thicker than a pancake batter. So it's kind of ooey. And that's about all the water you need. You do need to wait for it probably just to get cool enough that it's not going to burn the person when you're going to put it on, or else they really will have burn to go with the scar. Yeah. Then you'll end up taking it, and we have to do it kind of quickly because it'll dry quick, is we just smear it onto the face. And it's a little gooey. Now, it's already starting to get really thick on me. You really have a very short amount of time to work with this. So if you have a large space that you want to do it on, do it in multiple batches. Don't try to do it at once. Because if you have too much, you'll never make it work. Because it's already starting to get too thick. So now we're about done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of touch it up. And as I touch it, it's kind of getting gooey. And this gooiness is adding a texture that we're then going to fill the little cracks and crevices with, not too much, there, make it look like a scar. The little cracks and crevices are going to kind of make it look like scab that's gone bad. Yep, that's a little bit too much, so we'll just pull it off, and it'll kind of stick to the skin. And if I wanted to do a bigger burn, then I would just keep going. Right now, what I've done, it's too set up. I really couldn't work it anymore. So literally you have only seconds to start working with this. If you make the water any hotter, it buys you a little more time, but then you're only going to possibly burn the person. So do it in small batches. You could do with somebody's whole face. At this point, that's done, set up, and ready to move on to the next step. For some people, they might think that's just cool all itself, pretty close to skin color. But what we're going to do is we're going to use liquid latex. Now what liquid latex is going to do is add a skin over the top. And that skin over the top is going to keep it from drying out. Because this is a gelatin, it won't take very many hours and it'll dry up to be rock hard. Kind of like Jell-O that sat out too long. And it can kind of lose its effect. So I'm going to pour a little of this on here, and I'm going to get a little brush. And we're going to brush the liquid latex over the top. The liquid latex is going to seal it and help prevent there from drying out. Now, in this case, I'm actually going to use the liquid latex onto the skin itself, and that'll actually also seal it. Now, the liquid latex is pretty much the same material that is used to actually make our latex prosthetics. And so you can actually make basic prosthetics with this liquid. When we're done painting it and it dries, it actually is going to have the exact feeling of skin. Now the one thing you want to avoid is putting it on hair at all costs. So around his eyebrows and up to his sideburns, I'm actually going to not put the liquid latex. I'll keep it away from the skin. Otherwise, you'll have a hard time getting it off. Now, this particular brand is by Ruby's, and they say it's water washable. They still say to keep it away from the hairline. So even though it is water washable, keep it away from hair because it doesn't like to come off. So here's a little piece that's extra. I'm just going to pull it off and throw that out. Now I'm just going to keep painting all of this. When this is dry, if you were to touch it, it's going to feel exactly like your own skin. And when you go to take this off, the hot water will actually dissolve the liquid latex a little bit and will be removed. But also the gelatin will actually dissolve once again in hot water. Much like how I had the gelatin was getting hard in my cup, if I really wanted to, I could probably reheat that with some additional hot water and get to work it again. So if you do make a mistake of mixing up too much and run out of time, a little hot water will buy you a little more time with the gelatin. So I'm just going to keep painting here. And I need some more.
Weird thing is, it feels like you're tugging on my skin.
And it doesn't look that good now. It probably actually looked more like a real burn. Or something you could have just left alone before. The problem is it would have dried up and would have been a very short-lived effect if you just left it that way. But if that's all you wanted was some short-lived, I want to look like I have something goopy on my skin, and it would work. But I know from experience that after a number of hours, it would have been very uncomfortable to have that on your skin. And since it comes off easily with water, we're going to use, there's fake blood, and then there is blood gel. The difference between blood gel and fake blood is bright colored, like the real blood that comes out of you when you get injured. The blood gel is what blood does after it's been outside a while, and it gels up and becomes hard. I'm gotta be careful of that stash there. So I'm kind of avoiding the one area here. Let's see, good thing you shaved down here. Oh, so we got a nice little pocket right here. So this is going to kind of give you a Freddy Krueger look with this particular burn here. Very sinewy. Alright, I think we're about fully covered. So we're just going to let it dry.